Hello. Hello. How are we? Will. Hold on, I gotta turn this music down in my ears. It's too much music. Can't handle all this music. Hello. How are we today? Happy. Manika's just being dramatic. She's just growling and barking at nothing. Like, there's not even people going by the window. I don't know. It's a ghost, I guess. Hello. Welcome to the second part of our critique stream. Well, we'll be looking at the short form submissions, which are individual illustrations or comic pages or character designs, etc. So, here... Dramadoka, exactly. She is still in the cone of shame, as you can see a little bit in the corner. She's still licking her butt, so she has to wear the cone of shame. It's a hard life being a puppy. Okay, so we shall begin soon, but first, I need your help. I need you to go to Spoonflower and please vote for a design for a contest that Bones' mama has entered. So I'll... What?
She woke us up with texts.
She did. She woke us up. She said, please tell people about this. So I'll leave a little linky link if you don't mind hopping in and giving her a vote. That would mean a lot to her. And yes, so this is what it looks like. I have it selected here. It is called Halloween Kitten by Kimmy Marge. Yeah. So if you could please go vote for that. I should vote. Oh my god. There. Did it. Okay. So, we're beginning with V, because I saw my friend V wanted to go first, because they have stuff to go to soon. So, so let's do this. Okay, let me just find what your comments said. Please. Okay. General critique, composition, colors, anatomy. Okay, awesome. So, for this first one, first of all, really great illustration. I think you've just done a wonderful job with like all the movement. I love the colors. I love you've got these like really nice like atmospheric effects going on, like magic-y effects. And it just looks really nice. It's very dynamic and pleasing to look at. I think you did a really good job with composition, color, effects. The background is gorgeous. Like, I love it. This is so great. I'm finding, like, I mostly have really, like, little nitpicky pieces of feedback. Because I think overall you've done a really good job here. So the nitpicky, nitty-gritty stuff, I think there's a couple of anatomy things that are like a little bit off. I noticed it a lot in the face where different elements on the face feel like they're at different angles to me. So like the eyes feel like they're like tilted one way, but the rest of the face is tilted like a little slightly different way. I feel like the nose feels very flat. It doesn't feel like it's connecting to the face quite properly. I think it's mostly that it feels flat. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of definition to it. And I'm finding the same with the mouth, where it feels very flat. I think what would help you is just doing some studies, getting like making sure you have like alignment in all the elements of the face. Because I think like you have the elements there, they just need to be like rearranged a little bit. I wasn't sure about the eyes. I think the eyes look great. They're just slightly tilted different than the rest of the face is all. So yeah, so I would make sure to do some construction lines underneath. That really helps me because I definitely do things where, you know, all the different pieces of the face are in weird spots, or at different angles or whatever. So yeah, so making sure you have those strong construction lines underneath, doing studies I find really helps. Because when you have things like tilted, you know, things like squish and stretch with perspective and stuff, like, well, they have the illusion of doing that. Yeah, so looking at like a real face to see kind of how it changes depending on the angle can really help, because sometimes trying to just imagine it can mess you up. Focusing on body anatomy lately, so the face must have fallen behind. Oh yeah, I do that all the time. Man, studying, it's not a straight line. Improving on art. But yeah, so I think you did the hair and the ears really gorgeous. I love all of the like shading you've done. I love the color. The hair feels super flowy. I feel like it sits on like the head really nicely. Okay, Kuro, if you have to go next or go soon, then I'll do yours next after V's. Right. There's like, I find the anatomy of the body on this piece is like really well done. There's some little pieces that are just like really nice the way you've drawn them. Like, I love this hand over here in particular, where like there's just something about like the way you've like shaded it. Yes, Fitz, I can do yours after Kuro's. Yeah, just something about the way you shaded it and the positioning. It feels very voluminous. Like, you've done a good job of doing that like kind of 3D render feel to it. It just reminds me of like, it gives me the same feeling as like when I look at those like old Victorian portraits, maybe not Victorian, but old portraits of like royals. There's just something about the pose of the hand that's just like got that lusciousness to it. But yeah, I like it a lot. Same with like the waist and the legs. I think you've done a good job. As well as like the shoulders. You've got some good like foreshortening going on with the arm. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I think the pectoral muscles feel either like a little flat or like a little too far down on the torso. Yeah, I'd just be careful about that. Maybe like doing a bit more construction underneath to get like the feel of the muscles there. Yeah, just to get some more of that kind of volume that you have in other parts of the body, if that makes sense. Yeah. That is so good. I don't know how I did it. You did a good job. Hey, if you did it once, you can do it again. But yeah, really great work. Do you have any questions, V, about this one? Anything that I didn't cover that you wanted me to look at? Overall, I think you did a really great job with this one. Really great work. God, I'll try. You can do it. See, like, I know if you can do that hand and you can do, like, the shadow work on like these like jewelry pieces and on like the, it's not a skirt, but like the flowy parts here, like you can shade that all and like make it feel like it's got like good construction and volume and stuff. I know you can do that for the rest of the torso and for the face and stuff. I don't think so. Thanks so much. No problem. Okay, let's do the next one. You got the skills. You can do it. Okay, for this next one. Right, so this was also kind of general stuff. For feedback. So, for this one, it feels very much like a cover for like a chapter or weeps. Like a cover for like a comic chapter or a comic volume or something. And I know these are characters from your comic. So great energy. I like the composition. It's very interesting. It's very symmetrical. But I like how you have like the magic kind of particle thing going through the middle. Not the middle, but like kind of asymmetrically going through it. I think that adds a lot of visual interest. I also really like the effects you've done on it. It looks really cool. A kid's poster in their bedroom if they were fans. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I think right, so I like the really dramatic lighting you have going on. And I think it follows kind of like where the light is coming from pretty well. You've got a good handle on like the different shapes and kind of where to add shadow, you know, without making things too overly complicated. Yeah, I especially love it on the hair, how you've really modeled the forms of the hair and the head. I think that looks great. I love the rim lighting on the back of this background thingy. Yeah, great work there. I think the colors feel a little bit off to me. I think you've got great contrast going on. You've got like some really great like light highlights and dark shadows. Like I don't think you have to worry about midtones or anything. The contrast is there. I think just some of the color choices feel like they're clashing a little bit. Because for the character in the front, I'm so sorry, I can't remember the characters' names. So for the blonde character at the front, it feels like he's got a color palette that matches like the rest of the image, because you got this kind of like purple, yellowy green thing going on, and those are his colors obviously with the blonde hair and the purple shirt and the yellow pieces to the clothing. Oh, thank you for voting for the kitties. Felix in the front. Okay, so for Felix, like, yeah, so Felix has the colors of the composition really going. And they work because, you know, purple and yellow are contrasting colors. They're great. They work really well together. I do find Chris in the back with the red, it feels like it's just, it needs to be shifted to like a cooler red. It feels too warm in comparison to the rest of the colors, because the yellow is a very green yellow, meaning like it has a very cool temperature to it. And the purple is obviously like a cooler color. It's rather than like a warmer reddish purple. So yeah, I feel like if you wanted to include that red, I'd shift it more towards like a magenta-y, purple-y color. You can still get that red feeling from it while shifting the temperature of it. Because right now it just feels too warm and it's kind of clashing with the rest of the image. And same with the gold that's on Chris. It depends. If you switch the red, it might feel off. You might want to add like a little bit of green into that yellow just to cool it down a bit. But like Chris's hair, the skin tones, they all feel like they match up with everything else. I think it's just a color relativity thing here. And same with the red in Felix's eyes, because I like how you have the red in the eyes, like matching with the red shirt behind it. But I think they just need to be pulled towards the cooler spectrum. Anatomy-wise, I think you've got things down pretty good. The only thing that stands out to me is the hand here. I like that you're doing like foreshortening stuff where you've got like the forearm going directly towards the camera. I think you've modeled that well. The hand just feels like a little bit small. I think, yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like the way it attaches to the wrist or it needs more structure underneath. There's just something a little bit off there. But yeah, but I like what you're doing with it though, with the foreshortening and the posing and stuff. Yeah, I might make the hand bigger. I might also... I feel like you've got too much of the back of the hand showing, and it would mostly be like the front of the fingers like this. Like I'd grab a reference for it. Yeah, I think it just, the construction needs to be there a bit more. Similar, because like you have it up here where Chris is holding the sword, which is fine. Yeah, I think it's just the construction's a bit off there. But yeah. Do you have any questions on that? On this one? Just waiting while I enjoy my fruit water. No, that's perfect. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for submitting. All right, next is Kuro. Yes, okay. Just gotta find your comments. Okay. Right, so I remember when we talked about this, you mentioned you wanted just kind of like a general, like how everything fits together kind of feel to it. You still here? Awesome. Okay. Right, so do they look like they're all from the same story and unique and easy to tell apart? And who looks like the main character? Okay, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one first. Okay, so these are all from your Mackie comic. Just if they all look like they're in the same universe? Okay, awesome. Okay. So I think they definitely do look like they're from the same story. So, okay. So looking at these characters, I think, so most of them look like they're from the same world. It looks like a modern setting. I do have knowledge of what you submitted before of this comic, so, I'm not coming in fresh to this. But yeah, but they do look like they're from a modern setting. They're all wearing very casual clothing. The only two who feel less kind of casual and feel more like they're wearing like costuming is the blue one here and the purple one here, or pinky purple. I'm not sure what it is because I know that's like the purple one is like a tracksuit, which you would wear normally. There's tracksuits that look like this. I'm not sure what it is. It might be the really bright coloring and the pattern on it that just feels more like a it feels like a sci-fi-y kind of vibe to it. I'm not sure what. Um, but it's just got like it's less casual than the other ones that feel more kind of like really down to earth. It feels a little bit more um anime-y. like like a urban fantasy type of anime style. I don't know. And then same with this one where like I know that like wearing like a turtleneck and like a coat and a vest over top, like that's not casual. Like that's not normal, like it's normal clothing that people wear, but there's just something about the cut of it that feels a little kind of sci-fi cyberpunky to me. I'm not exactly sure why. It might be the pairing of the like it might be the striping of like the turtleneck, where it comes out the bottom and at the top, mixed with like the triangle pattern at the on the coat. Like there's just something there that feels kind of sci-fi-y. Um, yeah, I feel like you'd have to change the shapes up. Maybe that might help with like making it feel more kind of casual. Um, yeah, he definitely has like a fancy vibe. Like he feels very fashionable and fancy. Um, yeah, I might just change like the cut of the black like vest underneath, something like that. Like that one just feels like it feels like too much to have like a turtleneck with a vest over top and like a trench coat over top. I don't know. There's something there that feels like a little sci-fi to me. Oh yeah, adding in a warmer color, like it might help to make the coat like maybe not the coat. I like the coat because it goes well with this hair, but maybe have like the underneath be kind of like a warm, kind of like tan peachy color. Anyways. But yeah, toning down the color might help a little bit with the just checking the character's name. With Nat. I looked up a posh Japanese outfit. That was the first one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I've seen outfits like that before. Like I know it's casual. It's just like there's something there about the cut. I don't know. But I do like the casual look to everyone else. Especially because like I think something that would also help with Nat, the purple one, is toning down the colors, like you said, like adding some desaturation. Because the other characters in this cast have very kind of like desaturated, earthy colors. Like I know some of them go kind of like out there. Like Mackie has like some really bright greens here and there. I like how it's just like limited to like the shoes and then the vest, the overshirt and the t-shirt. Like they're more kind of neutral. I think it really works. And I feel like the green in his eyes really matches with the sneakers, and I think you've just done a really good job with like balancing it. Meanwhile, like the other characters, like this desaturated red, which is like a brownish color. I really like these kind of soft teals. I like the light pinks. With the red head here at the end, I might tone down the red just a smidge. It's like a little bit bright. Like I like the brightness, but I think it just needs to be brought down like a notch on the saturation scale. Yeah, and I can definitely see like I said, with the exception of like the outfits here, I think the rest of them fit into the same world. And I really like the expressions you've done. I think you're doing a really good job with like differentiating the characters' like shapes and faces and clothing and body styles and stuff. Like I think you've done a really good job with that. But they do feel like they could all be from the same story. Um They don't normally have the long coat. See, I've seen people who wear like a long coat where they'll have a turtleneck with just the coat over top, and it'll be like a felt coat type thing, or like a camel hair coat, that kind of style. Yeah. I can't really. I feel like I can't tell you who the main character is because I know Mackie's the main character. So I feel like I've cheated with that one. I could kind of guess their roles. So I feel like Mackie is like main character. Um, the wait, is this like the bully character? I feel like I have too much insight on this. This could be the bully character or like like the best friend who's kind of like a wingman type where he's like trying to get you to like come out of your shell. This character feels like either like a supportive like sisterly type. This end character, the redhead, feels like I'm thinking like Matt from Digimon, like kind of like the loner cool guy who's not like a meanie, but like just kind of like standoffish. Trying to give more of a Viking vibe. Yeah, I can see that. I like that inspiration. So these three here feel more like kind of like supporting characters. I guess the four at the end feel more like kind of more background supporting characters. Yeah, this feels like the really peppy, friendly character. These both do. Like, both the pink characters feel very, like, bubbly, kind of supportive background characters. And then their rich friend. Little loner character every comic has? Yes. So yeah. Do you have any questions on this, Kuro? Anything I didn't cover? Okay. I was gonna say love interest. I kind of get like either love interest or like best friend, like friend to lover type character. Pinks are the hypers. Yes. Wait, who's the dad? Okay. See, these all feel like teenagers to me. That's the vibe I get from all of them. Okay, I'll look at the next one. So, oh, dad type. I see what you mean. Not an actual dad, like the dad type character. Okay. I get you. I was like, what? They're too little to be dads. Okay. So the next is your main protagonist and cast of DW. Okay. So, looking at all of them, it's very, their designs are very like kind of action. It feels very like shonen manga type thing, like very like it feels like all these characters have like different powers. It feels like I feel like a lot of them feel like they're from the same setting. The ones that feel the most like cohesive together are Alondra, so the first person, Zagan, Fidel, and Thedo and Emmeline here. I think I got those names right. So the first two and the last two feel very like they're from the same kind of world and story. They've got very like geometric shapes going on. They have a lot of like lines cutting through their design. Um, they yeah, they have this kind of like sci-fi look where they've got like um big like shoulder silhouettes. Yeah, just very geometric, very like I like how they've got a lot of like different colors. Not different colors, like each of them has like obviously like a set kind of color to them, but they have lots of like little shapes and things being cut through, like just lots of like interesting little details to their costumes. Yeah, but they all feel like they're from the same story. They do have very contrasting color palettes as well, the first two and the last two, because these two obviously have like this kind of pink, purple, red thing going on where they feel like they're from the same team, and then the two blue characters feel like they're on the same team, if that makes sense. They also like, because they have more kind of like conservative looking clothing where it's more like, you know, they're not showing off their bellies. Basically, they've got like full coverage on their clothing. It makes them feel like they're from kind of like the same thingy, same faction, I guess. Where these two are both wearing like, you know, they're showing more skin. Their clothes has very similar cuts, and their colors are obviously the same. So they feel like they're from also their own faction-y thing. I can see the red as well with Mr. Cowboy Friend here. I'm getting cowboy vibes from Hector here. So he's obviously got like the red as well. But you've also got it like here on Azazel and oh, is this Emmeline? I think there's a name missing, but he probably wore a crop top in his youth. Oh, bless. Listen, can a 7-year-old wear a crop top? But yeah, but I find that this little lady, I think lady, with like the pink and the green, like is missing the red as well. Like these two feel connected because they both have the green, whereas like this more goth character, I don't know. I think the colors need to be kind of like brought in a little if they're all supposed to be on the same team. If they are in different factions, I like how you have like the colors kind of like aligning some of them together. But if it is like, because you mentioned it's like the protagonist cast, you might want to bring some of the colors a little closer. Like, it's hard because you don't want all of your characters to have like the same colors. Because obviously people wear different colors and stuff, but they need kind of like a through line, whether it's like a red through line, or you pick kind of like 3 colors. Like say you went with like red, pink, and blue or something. And kind of using those as like the mains, where maybe like one character is more red, and so like the red is like the main color of their design, but they also have like the purple and blue here and there, and someone else has like purple as their color, and just kind of like switch them up. A really great example of this kind of like color cohesion for like a team is Gurren Lagann. What? Oh, and Cowboy Bebop is another one that has like, yeah, Bone says it's a more subtle one, but yeah, just a way to make like the character designs more cohesive to show that they're like aligned with each other. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, but looking at their designs, it definitely feels very like fantasy, kind of sci-fi style. And I like all the different shapes for your characters. They all seem to have very like clear, different personalities. And I think again you've done a really good job with just like the different body types, the different like expressions and like facial features. Like I think you're really leveling up in that area. So yeah. Let me know if you have other questions.
Who's next?
So Fitz is next. Oh, you're on the phone. Okay. Yeah, Carl, let me know if you have any other questions. Okay, you can go back and rewatch it and ask me if you have questions later. Okay. So, Fitz, my friend, where are ya? Let's see. Okay. Okay, good. You're here. Okay, so the first is one of my novel characters, the main character. Her name is December. She's the youngest daughter of the winter goddess. Feedback on design, coloring, shading, anatomy, expression, and how her personality reads. Okay. So I think you've done a really good job with sorry, trying to find the word. The shading on like I want to say the face, but I feel like you've done like a good job of it everywhere. Like you've done a really good job of like going in, modeling the forms. I know in the past like things have felt flat because you've used like a gradient kind of over like an entire like swath of the character, but I feel like you've done like some really nice like shadows, like you know you got shadows on the hairline, on like the bridge of the nose, like under the jaw. All the little hair details feel really like nicely formed. And yeah, and I like how you've got like some subtle kind of like soft gradients going out mixed with some kind of like darker edges, not darker, harder edges. And I think you've just done a really good job with like shading and modeling all the forms and stuff. Yeah, so good work there. Expression wise, I think you did a really good job. She seems like looking at her expressions, she seems like tough. Like a tough kid who's not taking no gruff from no billy goats. Um uh yeah, she seems like kind of tough and stern. Maybe like a little bit bratty, but I think I'm getting that read because she has a very like kind of like young juvenile look to her. But yeah, just like the like the set of the mouth and like the eyebrows, the little kind of angry eyebrows. She's sassy. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I get. Yeah, I think you're getting better with doing like these very like subtle facial expressions. I'm not exactly sure what's causing it, but you're doing it, and it's really good. Yeah, you've got these kind of like more subtle expressions than I've seen in the past. And yeah, it's looking good. The anatomy, I think. What age is the character? So just from the proportions and stuff, she's reading as like a little kid to me. Just from like the size of her head and like limbs and stuff. She's reading as like it's hard to say because I know your styles is has a lot of kind of like cuteness to it. But she's reading as like 10 or younger to me. Um More like 8 or younger. Um but the clothes, like the short skirt feels like she's probably older than that. Um the age is a bit vague because she's a god. She's around 10. I see. Okay. Um yeah. Um yeah, I guess I'd have to see her in comparison to the other characters because I know your style is very like um cute. So a lot of the characters do look young, even though they may be older. Just like all of them have this kind of like young, cute look to them. Um, but yeah, I think what makes her feel so young is like, um, she's got like the really big head and like short limbs, um, and like small shoulders and stuff. So that makes her read as like a child character. Um, I think anatomy wise, the other drawing I submitted is to the adult characters. Okay. Yeah, in comparison to their um like proportioning, she seems like super super little. Hmm. Yeah. Depending on what you want with this character, because some kids are smaller and stuff, you may be able to get away with like making her a bit taller and like making her head smaller, maybe not even making her taller. I think it's just the size of the head that makes her read as like super little. um yeah, so maybe sizing down the head just like a smidgen might help with that reading. And yeah, like you said, working in a lineup will really help with that. Anatomy wise, I think her proportioning is really cute. It feels very balanced, with the exception of the neck. The neck feels very long, in comparison to like the rest of her body. Um, I'd recommend kind of like cutting that size in half. No, um, yeah, bringing her head really a lot closer to her shoulders. Um, but otherwise, I think the anatomy is looking good. Yeah. It feels like that's something I used to do a lot. Is like I draw really long necks, um, but they're surprisingly short. I don't know. It's just a weird illusion where necks like look longer than they actually are. So yeah, yeah, color wise, I think you've done a really good job with unifying all the colors. I don't have any critiques there. I think it looks great. So yeah. Yes, exactly. The long neck phase is something every artist must go through. It's true. We all go through our long neck and our chin phase. Um, our hiding the hands phase. That's another one. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I've been working on elongating the faces so the necks must have been in effect. Yeah, I can see that. Giant feet phase, yes. We all had 3 phases at once. Yes. Listen. Learning isn't just a straight line. Teeny weeny hands, yes. Listen, we all have baby hands sometimes. Listen, if you read Sovereign, you'll understand my small hands phase. No questions? Okay, awesome. I was astonished by how much skin there is on this picture. I was like, oh my goodness. On my stream, on my wholesome Christian stream, naked boys. How dare you? Thick thighs face. My life. I'll forgive you this time. It's fine. Yeah, hide your Christian eyes. Only atheist eyes here. Oh, yeah, only two. Thick thighs is not a phase, it's a lifestyle. Agreed. Okay. Right, so this is the two other novel characters. So Summer on the left and Spring on the right. They're the most powerful deities in the story. Okay, what personality vibes do I get? What do you think their relationship is? Feedback on shading, coloring, anatomy, etc. Okay. Okay, so Summer's personality feels like a total butthole. He just strikes me as like, just like a show off, snarky butthead. And Spring feels more reserved and serious as a character. As for their relationship, they definitely feel like a gay couple. I also like how they kind of have pointy ears. I'm living for that. Give everyone pointy ears. Enemies to lovers, I can see it. They definitely seem to have yeah, that kind of like combative relationship where they like get on each other's nerves, but are secretly in love. Yes, gay people, please. I only want gays on my wholesome Christian stream. Okay. So those are the vibes. I'm looking at the you spoiled the relationship. Okay, Summer's an arrogant butthead. Spring is serious and blunt. They're secretly dating. Yes, we love some secret dating. Okay. Okay. So, color-wise, I think you've done a good job with aligning all the colors. Everything is very like peachy colored. It's very pinkish, peachy purpley. I think all the colors align really well. I like the kind of gradient effect you've got going on in the eyes, where they've got this kind of like dark outer rim and get light in the middle. I think that's a nice touch. The expressions, I think, again, you're getting really good at like adding like more expressiveness and subtlety to the expressions. So I think you've done a really good job there. I think anatomy-wise, Summer is looking good. Like, you've got good like perspective on the shoulders. Everything feels pretty proportional. Where I find Spring's arm, I feel like from the neck down, Spring feels really off, where there's something about the way the neck is connecting to like the shoulder that doesn't quite feel there. It feels like it's like it's just kind of wonky. I feel like it needs more structure underneath. Same with the arm, and I think because like the shoulder and the back are off, it's kind of throwing the arm off. Or I'm finding like each individual piece on its own feels good, but they don't like connect all the way. I'd honestly, I feel like his shoulder is like too far down and forward in comparison to like where his neck is. And yeah, and I think that's just kind of throwing all the other pieces off. I struggled with the shoulder area. Yeah, I definitely grab a reference. The thing is, like, while it feels like our shoulders move a lot, they don't actually go that far in comparison to like our torso and our neck. They're pretty connected, even though it feels like we do like a whole bunch of movements with our shoulders. Because even when you have them like curled forward or like pushed back, they don't. Speaking, talk for yourself. Sorry, mine don't go very far. But yeah, I think yeah, they see pretty in a condensed spot, kind of closer to the neck than where you have it there. But yeah. Anyways, I think you got that. Again, I think you've done a really good job with like the shading on everything. Everything feels really well modeled. Yeah, everything feels really well modeled. I like how you've got like the subtle shadows going. You've got good like highlights and values, all that good stuff, like I said with the previous one. I think one issue I have is with the like choker that Summer is wearing, where it looks like it's metallic, but it's also like form-fitting. So it's like, is it sheer cloth? Is it like a metallic piece? If it's like a metal piece, then it feels like it's too form-fitting. It needs like a shape of its own that would kind of sit like on top of the neck and like the shoulders, instead of being like tight to the skin. But if it's cloth, then it's got it. But yeah, anyways, I was just a little confused about like what that was. I also think the shininess on it, the angle's like a little bit off. I feel like it would be kind of like straight up and down in comparison to like the surface, like I feel like you've got the light, make it less metallic. Yeah, I think that would help. But if it was like a, I don't know, like a metal necklace or something, you have the shininess following the form underneath, but I'd have it like following the form of the necklace, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. Do you have any other questions about that one? Yes, yes. Oh. Think that's good? Okay. Awesome. So then the last one. So the last is a background I drew for a craft project. This sort of style would match alright with the coloring of my characters. Could look nice together in a comic or illustrations for my novel. Okay. So I think it's super cute. It's a super cute style. The colors are super cohesive. I don't think you have a problem there. I feel like it matches your style well, because it's got Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Yeah, I like how you've got... Sorry, let me figure out what I'm trying to say. You've got very... Here's the thing, it feels like your style. So I think if you had characters in it, like if you had this as a background for like an illustration or a comic, I think it would fit well together. They don't feel like they clash, like your background versus your characters. I think for this particular illustration, I won't go too hard on it because it was for like a craft project and not for like a comic background. But I think the lines in this case would be like really thick and distracting in comparison of like just looking at your other illustration. If I like put her into it, she's got a lot of like really subtle line work and like thick outlines and stuff, whereas this is like all thick outline with the exception of like some little texture things. So if you were putting this into a background and incorporating it with your characters, I'd be careful of like making them feel like they're part of the same environment. So like using thinner lines for like things that are farther away versus like thicker lines for things that are closer. And making sure like you're, you know, if a character is interacting with a background piece, then you know the line art's matching up with them to show they're on the same like distance. But yeah, but this I know this is for like something else. So this as like a little background for like a diorama type thing is like super cute. It reminds me a lot of like I'm thinking of like play sets, like getting like little figurines or dolls and then having like a little background to like play on. That's what this kind of feels like. It could also be just like a cute little background image in like a TV show type thing. It's very cute. I like how you've got lots of like overlap and layers going on. Like you've got some foreground with like the trees and leaves, and then the buildings, and then trees going into the background and the telephone poles. I like the depth that's there. Because I know with this, yeah, it feels very Sanrio. Because I know with this, the focus was probably like the stuff in front of the background, like because this is just to kind of complement the stuff in front. If you were doing a picture that was like just the background, I'd probably encourage you to do like higher contrast because this is all very kind of hazy and blends together a lot. So yeah, so I'd make sure if you're doing a piece that like involves the background a lot more, like adding in more light highlights and dark shadows, for example, same way you do with your characters. But overall, I think this is like super cute. And I think it could really work for your other projects. Yeah, do you have any other questions on it? Anything I missed? Oh, one thing I'll point out, this piece of like ivy or greenery that's climbing up the house, I find like the rest of the image is very it feels very like tight. It's not super sketchy. There's like some variance in like line weight and stuff, but it's not very sketchy. And then to have this piece of ivy that is like very sketchy and organic, like I might clean it up a little bit, just because it stands out, because it does feel very different than the other elements. And maybe lighten the color so it like blends in with the building a little bit more, but I think that would be my only major thing of feedback for it. Yeah. So yeah. who's next? That's a good question. Well, thank you, Fitz, for submitting. Oh my goodness. Okay. Who do we have next? Bones McKay. No, it's not Bones. We have Bunny. Oh, I thought I saw. We have my friend Ink. We have Battlebox. And Sean, who I don't think is here today. So I might do Sean's last. So who wants to go next? Also, Fitz, if you have any questions, let me know. Hello. I mean, if no one puts their hand up, I'm just gonna volunteer somebody. No problem, Fitz. Okay. Wait, Stardust. You're up. You're being voluntold. Okay, let me just find what you wrote. Okay, I didn't submit anything, so I can't volunteer. Gosh, Lawrence. No, it's fine. Hi, Stardust. Okay. So first is Aya. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong character. There we go. She's Neil's sister and the main antagonist. It's her first adult appearance where she's not immediately or obviously antagonistic, but I still want her shape language to carry to the future. More obviously antagonistic designs as she grows into the role. Okay. Right. Okay. You returned. Okay. So, she definitely has some of that villain shape language going on. So I think you've done a good job with like making it kind of subtle right now. Like a common villain shape is like triangles because it's very like sharp and cunning and you know yeah, it's just got that kind of villainous vibe to it. Okay, so you disappear. Okay, well, Stardust, if you have any questions after and you're still having internet troubles, feel free to poke me on Discord and I can answer anything. Okay, so I think you've got like a good start with the villainousness. I feel it a lot in like her kind of like bodice, like torso area. There's something about like the cut of that like over jacket vest thing that really feels like villainous to me. I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, but I really, there's just something about it. It's good shapes. It's got lots of good little intricate triangles going on. I especially love that little moon piece that's coming on her shoulder. Like, that is gorgeous. I don't know why, but I really like it. It's a really great little detail. And I like how you've got these like standout gold pieces on her. Like I love the little tabs like on the bottom of her jacket and like the little studs on her her like belt and boots and gloves and stuff. I just like how you've given everything kind of like a little bit of a 3D feel by adding like a little bit of shadow and line to it. That's just a really nice touch. It adds lots of texture to your character's costumes. I'm in love with Aya. Yes, we are all in love with her. Um, 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 but yeah, I think her outfit feels very villainous just from the shapes and stuff. With her, I also like the expressions you have here. She seems very serious, and grumpy. Um, I like. So looking at her design, so her face here feels very different from her face here. Um, in the full body version, she's got like her face feels longer. Same with her hair. Things are kind of more boxy and drawn out. Whereas here, things feel like sharper. I find like uh, her features feel softer here. And her hair feels sharper here. I like the bob, the shorter bob here that has more like triangle-ness to it. I might lean into that if I were you. I think if you're gonna have her switch from this design, which is more kind of friendly, it aligns with the main character, who she's siblings with. But his is obviously like a lot softer. At least I think. I think so. Sorry, I'm like looking at the thing like, wait, who's who? But yeah, I think she's like sibling to the main character, right? But yeah, but as she's less of an antagonist and villain, and maybe as she grows more into like a villainous look, you might want to go with this kind of more boxier shape because it feels more reliable. And then as like the older she gets, the more kind of like pointy her hair, for example, could be. Yeah, but I think I also just like the shape, the more triangular shape, just because it matches with her outfit more. Yeah, so I like the softer features of the like torso version. And I feel like maybe her features could get more kind of like sharp, the more kind of like villain role she takes on. But yeah, it feels like a good start. I think there's something about the red on her like vest piece, and like I know it's on the inside of the jacket too. There's something about it that's just kind of clashing with the other colors in her outfit. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just like a temperature thing where like yeah, it's just not vibing. For me personally, it's not vibing with like the purple and the gold. I might like I know she's got like red in her skin tone and in her eyes, but like I think because that's got more of an orange in it, like her skin tone and stuff, it feels more cohesive with like the gold pieces of her outfit. So I might push like the red to more magenta-y instead of like a plum purple where it is now. Yeah, play with the temperature. It just feels like a smidgen off to me right now. But otherwise, very good work. Yeah. Do you have any other questions about this character's design that I haven't covered? Ooh. My goodness. Hello, potato. Welcome. I agree, the fur collar look is very cute. You're almost done the Foxwine comic? Hell yes. Alright. So this is Nail's brother and Aya's twin and platonic duet soulmate. Oh right, because there's like a soulmate kind of aspect to the magic in this comic. Sweet boy, best boy. Everyone is forgetting him. I will never forget him. And it's killing him. Oh my god. He's been a hard character to pin down because he's not strictly an antagonist. He's just being dragged along by his sister. I'm trying to make him a bit flashy, kind of like a peacock thing. And I'm gonna make it as hard as possible for people to forget me. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. I'm not sure he's flashy enough, but I'm struggling with balancing the detail level to be consistent and easy to draw. I see. Okay. Okay. Oh, poor guy. Everyone's forgetting him. Oh, bye, Lawrence. Okay, so pardon me. So I definitely get like a flashy kind of like he's got like a swashbuckler vibe to him. I think it's like the belt and the shape of the coat and the boots that's really doing it. Oh, hello. Yeah, so I think I really like the coat. I feel like it gets a little bit lost on the full body version of him, but the shapes that you have going on in the coat diagram in the background, because it feels triangular, so he's on like the villain team. But I like how it's got these kind of like curved edges to it, where yeah, it's not all straight lines. It feels. I also really like the silhouette. I think it really draws that kind of like triangle shape to it. But yeah, but it's still soft because you got these kind of like slightly curved edges. I think it's really nice. I also really like the sun patch on the shoulder. I think that's a good play off his twin sister. Because she's got the moon, he's got the sun. I like it. Very good. I might, if I were you, I might make the coat longer. Because, like, because I think, yeah, because I understand you don't want to have too many details so it's not like super hard to draw. I really like that padding inside of the coat. I just know that will be so annoying to draw unless you can find a way to like simplify it depending on like the detail level. But yeah, but I think like a longer coat might kind of make him feel more flashy without making the cut of the coat too like feminine. Um I might even it's hard to say cuz I like the kind of like broad in waist cuz it gives that like um it gives that triangle look, but I wonder if just like a coat that's like straight down, like from the like under the arms, just goes straight down with like a longer cut to the coat. That way, like the whole kind of back of the coat can look like a triangle, if that makes sense, instead of cinching it at the waist. Because that can also be like a more masculine look. It's also very flashy. um, to have like a big coat like that. But yeah, I can see some of the shapes being kind of muddled. Like he's got a lot of kind of like sharp edges to his coat and like the emblem on his coat and stuff. He's got like a little triangle earring. But like the cut of his boots is very rounded off. I might bring in some of the gold on like his belt buckle and like all his little details and add it into the shoes just so that he feels kind of more cohesive on like the top and the bottom of his design. But yeah, but I like all the little details. I like the little X from the like the earring and then on the cuffs. Like I see you've got like a curve going on with his vest that goes with the boots. I think there's just something not quite fitting here. I feel like I might play with more circles and less of this kind of like curved pedal kind of look, because the bottom of his vest and then the top of his boots have this kind of like curved pedal look. Whereas I like how the little sun emblem and the belt buckle, like they echo each other. I'd maybe try bringing in more of that kind of gold ring elsewhere in the design and maybe like pull back on the kind of like pedal look to things. Yeah, bringing gold down into the boots will really help. Yeah, and I think the same. I'm finding it less with the having a problem with the red in this design, and I think it's because it's used more than in his sister's design, where it's kind of like the main color, whereas in her design the purple was kind of the main color. But if you want them to be cohesive, I'd just like if you switch her red to like a different temperature, I'd switch his as well to the same color. But yeah, give those a try. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, he definitely feels like a soft boy who is a little cheeky. And he definitely feels flashy to me. He's got lots of little bits and bobs on his outfit that make him feel like he's trying to look noticeable. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on that one. So this is Malin. She's the cousin of Nael and the twins. She's Nael's deputy in child wrangling. Looks up to him. She's the youngest of the cast. Okay, so she's like 13. Concerned with color for her. She's always felt very green to me, but it makes her stand out like a sore thumb compared to the purple maroon situation going on with the siblings. I see. Here, you have a comparison here that I can open. Yeah, because she's got the green kind of turquoisey blue stuff going on that matches the other character. who I can't remember the name of. Oh, Varu. Yeah, so Malin's colors, yeah, they kind of match with Varu a bit more. So she does have the purple and the maroon. Heck, that is a question. Here's the thing. You can have characters who are part of the main cast but have their own color. I'm trying to think of a good example of it. Hey Bones, I need to run to the bathroom. Would you be able to come vamp for me for a hot second? Sorry guys, to leave in the middle. I really need to pee. Come vamp for me. Thank you.
My god. I don't even know what I look like, guys. Whoa, music. I need to see. Oh, here I am. Okay, hi. Hi, chat. What's up? I'm just here trying to sew. What are all you doing? Hello. All of you. Forgot my thimble. Like a tough bit. Gonna hurt my fingers trying to sew without a thimble. Thimbles aren't what I thought they were for. Do. I always thought when I was a kid that thimbles were for stopping yourself from poking yourself. But they're not. They're for pushing the needle through without hurting your thumb. Or I guess your finger. You don't usually. I don't know. I thought they were like a little protective thing for your fingies. I mean, I guess they are kind of a protective thingy. Wait, really? Yeah, they're for... You put them on your finger and you use it to push the needle through. Because when you're doing like thick fabric and stuff, it really hurts to push the needle through. And sometimes you need as much pressure as you can get. So that's what thimbles are for. No, it's a quilting stream now. Oh, Ursula's back though, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Quilt Boy. All right. So, but anyways, so Malin, she fits like the color story of the main characters, which is very helpful. Because you've got like the gold detailing, you've got the purple and maroon in there, you've got the like she's got like the same coloring as the rest of the cast, and I really like that like green color on her. I think it works really well with her design. You could I was thinking maybe you could bring some of the purple in through more like detailing on her like little tunic thing, but I feel like that would be too much detail work. Honestly, I think her coloring is fine. She still reads as main character. She reads as related to the twins and Nail. So I don't think you have to worry about it, honestly. Okay, so as for her design, I really like the circle theme that she has going. Like it's very evident in like the shape of her hair, her body shape. I like how small she is in comparison to the rest of the cast. And I like how she has a very different body type than the rest of the cast. But you can still tell just from like her like features and her like hair and skin color and stuff that she is related to the main characters and the twins and stuff. I love the detailing on her like smock. Like that is a really pretty design. And I love how it circles and it just matches with her shape language. Yeah, I also like how she has this kind of like scarf motif where she's got like the tie around her waist and like the scarf on her neck and the hair ties, and it's just all so cohesive. I'm loving it. I think there's something going on with her eyes that I'm not sure about. I think it's because like she obviously has these very like apple rosy cheeks, and they're round, which is great. I love that she's like always smiling and like, you know, you can see her cheeks like affecting her eyes and stuff. It's super cute. There's just like, I think it's the placement of her, like the iris and the pupil, where like she just seems like a little cross-eyed. So yeah, so I'd be careful about that. Yeah, because I think it's more of an issue with this full body one, more than this one. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, just be careful about the placement of the eyes. I feel like I'm reaching to like find things to nitpick because it's just a lovely character design. Yeah, let me see her in comparison to the other characters again. Because I'm also wondering if she reads as super young. I can't remember how old the other characters are. If they're teenagers. Because, like, I know the others are taller than her. But she could just read as, like, a very short character. So I might... You might want to... You might want to make, like, change some of her features. Like, make her eyes bigger, or her head bigger, or her shoulders more narrow. Stuff like that to make her feel like a younger character than the rest of them. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just something in her face where she needs to, like, you could change around the proportioning to make her seem, like, a little bit younger. But yeah, you probably just want to mess around with that and see what works. But overall, really great character designs. I think you've got, like, shape language down. I love the color story going on. Just really great work. So yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. And feel free to poke me after the stream. Okay. What did you say, Boss?
Next victim.
Next victim. Okay, is Ink here? Or Battlebox? My friends? Are you here? Okay, I'm just gonna go with ink. Because I'm not getting any volunteers. Okay. It's two pieces based on Steven Universe characters, white diamond and rose quartz. General feedback on the composition, anatomy, and colors. My specific questions are the following. Are the forms looking a bit more 3D this time? And how's the foreshortening on white diamond's arm? Okay. Awesome. Oh, shoot. Okay. They say they're not in today. So. Okay. So. Looking at this, so yeah, I think you've done a better job with making things feel more 3D and modeling the forms. I especially like the work that you've done on the hair. Like everything feels structured. Same with like her kind of face and shoulder and torso area feels very like shaded. I like the overlap of like the ringlets on her shoulders and stuff. Yeah, same with her arms. Her arms are also very are modeled well. I find on the skirt you've got like a shadow coming down the side here that doesn't feel quite right. Just from the way the shadows are hitting like her face and her torso and her arms, I feel like the light would kind of come out to here. I think basically what's happening with the skirt is like instead of it feeling like cylindrical, it feels like there's a corner down the front here. It feels like rectangular. So yeah, so I'd work on the thing is like you do it well with like the arms and like her ringlets and stuff and on the face. I think you just need to make sure that you're shading the skirt in the same fashion because it is a cylinder basically. It's, you know, it's a little weird of a cylinder because someone's body underneath isn't necessarily like a perfect cylinder, but yeah, but using just some more soft shading, shading on both sides, not all the time depending on where the light's coming from, but that can add kind of like a more cylinder feel to it. Yeah, this is definitely less flat than some previous pieces you've submitted. I think anatomy wise, I think individual elements are looking good. I'm finding just they're not all connecting the same. A lot of them feel like they're on different, like they're in different perspectives. Like for example, her feet. Like her feet feel like they're in a slightly different perspective than like her upper torso, which feels even different from like the skirt. Yeah, things just I feel like things just need a little bit more structure underneath them. They feel a little bit off. I think this can be helped a lot by doing like construction underneath. So even when you're drawing like a skirt on someone, drawing the legs underneath can really help because sometimes things get kind of shifted around into weird perspectives and weird sizes when we don't like draw the structure underneath. You know, like a cloak or a big piece of clothing or something, or even like if it's behind an object, for example. So yeah, so I definitely go in, do some structuring underneath. I think she also got stunted by like the size of um the image, though I know you maybe like drew it and then cropped it around her, but she feels like a little bit short, and just from like the way the legs are drawn, it doesn't feel like it's because I don't know, it feels like it got kind of squished, like you hit the bottom of the page and you didn't want to like cut things off, so things got kind of like stunted a little bit. So yeah, so just doing that really strong construction underneath will really help. Yeah, I think things are also connecting a little weird, like her hand isn't quite attaching to her arm quite the right way. And yeah, like I was saying, things just feel like they're in slightly different perspectives. I love the colors you're working with here. The teal and the pink work really well together. Like I like the cream of her dress. It works really well with the pink and the other colors you've chosen. I think there's some perspective wonkiness going on in the background where it's a little hard to tell like what like are these like more blue on shadow? Are they bushes that are closer? I think it'll also help your background to do some construction, like doing like laying down a grid, doing some studies on backgrounds and stuff can really help. I like that you've included it because I think the colors really complement like rose quartz and the colors you've chosen for her and stuff. I think it just, again, needs some more structure underneath. But yeah, overall, looking good. Love the colors, like I was saying. Okay, for your next one. So yeah, so the body feels better in this one, and I think it's because with rose quartz, you've got the skirt covering her legs, whereas here with like white diamond, you're able to kind of see the body underneath, so things feel like a little less wonky, especially in the legs. Right, so you were wondering about the foreshortening in her hand. So I think you've done a good job with the foreshortening. So it looks like, you know, the hand's coming toward us, towards the camera. I like what you've done with the forearm. I like how it attaches to the upper arm. I find her hand looks a little, like, skewed. It looks a little distorted. Whereas the one in the back here looks a bit more structured. So I just make sure that you're using like a reference, making sure you're doing that strong construction underneath, just because things feel like they've been kind of like shifted to the side a little bit, if that makes sense. They're leaning a little bit. But yeah, good work on the foreshortening though. As for the body, I think there's some weird... I think you need to grab a reference for some of your posing. Because this back arm feels referenced to me. It just feels very structurally there. Everything feels very connected. Whereas I'm finding with the way her feet are angled, don't feel like they match up how your waist would be in that position. So if she's facing front ways with her torso, but it looks like her hips are turning because her feet are turned to the side. So she's showing us this hip, and there should be a twist at the waist, but the waist feels like it's very straight on, and then suddenly at the hip, it just like, this leg kind of like turns. So I'd recommend grabbing a reference and seeing how to do that kind of movement, because the front would be very It would be, I mean, a little bit turned, but like straight on, I guess. And then her waist would kind of get smaller, and the maybe not get smaller, but it would twist. And the her clothing, like you've got this like diamond arrow design, that would move to the side a lot more to move along with the twist of her waist. And then this hind leg here, not hind leg, but you know, the leg at the back, would be turned away more. Her pelvis wouldn't be like so much at the front, it would be like turned. So yeah, so I definitely recommend getting reference for like a complicated pose like that. I like that you're trying to do it, like you're getting more dynamic poses, although you've always been good with like really dynamic poses. But yeah, I think reference would really help you with this, just because things, again, they're drawn well, they just don't feel like they're connecting in all the right ways. I love the face, I love the hair, the expression. Like, I love the colors versus like her black and white color palette. And I think from like the waist up, you've done a good job with like proportioning and shading. The way everything's like shaded feels a lot more cohesive. Like you've got like the light source is like hitting the right way for all the shadows, whereas like in the previous one there were some like modeling issues, but here it feels like everything's working really well, shading and modeling wise. So yeah, overall, really great work, great expressions and posing, and you're doing a great job with the shading. I think you just gotta keep going with it. So yeah, Ink, if you have any questions, let me know after you watch this. So Artist Blue, for this critique, you, to get your artwork critiqued, you need to sign up for our Patreon. There should be a link down below. So we won't be able to critique anything today, but if you sign up, we can critique your stuff next month for the next stream. Alright, next I'll do Battle Box. Not sure if you're here, my friend. But yeah, let's see. Let's do this. Okay, what did your notes say? For this critique, I just want your opinion on the color and shading, as well as anatomy and posing, and also the line art. So there's a new pen. Okay, awesome. Okay. Right, so you mentioned being worried about the legs being too long. So I love the colors. Obviously these colors are very cohesive. You've got like a cyan going, you've got like a little bit of like indigo, kind of purpley blue going on. But they're very harmonious. They work really well together. So I don't think you need to worry too much about colors and stuff. You've also got really good contrast going on. I really like how things kind of like, what's the word? They're really highlighted at the top. It's like, in a camera where like whites can be really like blown out, so they're kind of hazy. Like it feels like that. I really like how up at the top where like the light is hitting, it gets really hazy and highlighted, and then down, you know, in the front where there's like more shadow and stuff, you've got like some nice dark shadows. Just really great contrast work. I like all the little subtle details in the shading. Like I love the little detail on the knee and like along the muscles and stuff. Little details like around the neck and the collar and in the ears. Like just lots of really lovely little detail work that you're doing. I don't think the legs are too long. The feet might be a little bit big, which might be making them feel long. But as for the like actually anatomy of this character, I think like the torso seems like proportional to the arms and the legs. Just the feet, especially this front one here, they just feel like a little bit too big for the character. The line work looks great. The only thing I might change is like down in here, I might have just like underneath like the thigh and stuff, I would have just maybe just darkened it all instead of using like cross hatching in there. Just because I don't think you've really used cross hatching anywhere else on the piece. I would have just followed the style and just used these kind of dark shadows like you have up in the neck and like under the vest and stuff. I really like the pose too. It feels very natural. Yeah, just a really good job with the posing and the coloring. I also really like the effects you've used. There's like a subtle texture on a lot of stuff. You've got like a lot of reflecting light. I love the little shinies on the hair. I like some of the like hazy blooming effects you've done. Yeah, just really great work. Really great work. I also like how subtle the line work is. Like obviously you've got like these dark shadows and stuff going on, but other than that, the line work is very light and airy. It's very nice. I think anatomy-wise, there might also be something going on with this back knee here. It feels a little lumpy here and a little off-kilter for the hips. I find everything on this side of the character feels like good and balanced, and then maybe over here as things start overlapping, things feel a little bit wonky. I love the hands. You did a really great job with positioning the hands and stuff. Yeah. So I think that's all my feedback for that. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me after the stream. For the next one. Okay. So color-wise, I really like the yellows going through because you've got this kind of like yellow in the hair and on the fur. Obviously the yellow of, is it Flounder? Is that the character's name? Woo. I sure do know Disney. But yeah, but I like the yellow kind of gold you've got going through a lot of it. It contrasts really well to the purple in the background very nicely. One thing you might want to watch out for is the color of the character's shirt and their hair. That value, it's very dark, and it's very close to the value of the background. So a lot of your detail gets really lost in here. So like the character's shoulder kind of melds with the background. Their hair really vanishes into the background. Their face and ears and like all the stuff you've got like light and yellow on really stands out. But a lot of it is just kind of disappearing into the background just because of that contrast issue. I would also recommend either reducing like the vibrancy of the yellow on the stuffy to match some of the yellow, which is like a lot more desaturated and lighter. I'd probably pull back on some of this vibrancy or bring some of the vibrancy into like the fur and the earring and the hair and all that stuff. Just because right now all your focus really goes to the stuffy, when I feel like you'd want it to kind of bounce between like all the different elements on the character. Um, I think there's also, like, I like this kind of blushy effect you've got going on the face. I just think it's a little too light on the snout, where it kind of makes the snout kind of like disappear into like the rest of her face, just because it's so light. I might pull back at least on the line, just so that you have that kind of structure to her face, if that makes sense. I think it's just creating a contrast issue there, so her face is like a little harder to read the shape of. Um, I think there's also places like down here at the bottom where you could have added more shadow. I know it's hard because you've got all this texture going on with the fur, which I really like. I like the texture. I just think it needs more kind of shadow on top. Right now, the shorts that she's wearing feel very flat on top of her leg because there's no like shadow underneath. And you've done like such a lovely job with like the shadows on like her sleeves, and in the hair and stuff. Like I just love to see more of that shadow work on her legs and her tail, on top of the texture. Um, I love the expression. I love the pose. It's super cute. I just want to see more of it. With that contrast fix. I also really like the line work, especially on her face. It feels like kind of like a scratchy dip pen look, which I really like. 10 out of 10. Mwah. Yeah, great work with texture as well. Yeah. So I think that's it for that one. Again, let me know if you have questions. And then finally, so right, okay, so it's like a comparison of one character, like past and present. So right, Ari is holding a grenade dig she pulled. She loves explosions. Very good. Okay. So is this like a comparison of like old and new art, or is it a comparison of just designs? Either way. So I really like the colors you're using. I love the shine that you've got going on her hair. There's just something so vibrant about it. It looks so glossy. I think you've done a really good job with that texture and that color chosen. That's really gorgeous. Same with the texture on her clothing. You've really got this like, I love the like the shininess of the fabric. Like the red in particular feels a lot like, it's like silk kind of texture. I think you've done a really good job with that. I love the expression. I love the little details in her eyes. I love the flowiness of the hair. That's all looking fantastic. I think you've done a good job with the foreshortening, especially on the hand. Like that looks lovely. And like, I like the way she's holding like the tag. It looks really great. And I like how there's like little extra details because it's like up close to the camera. The one thing I'd say is with this hand is none of it's overlapping with her, like with her torso or her hair or her face. So it feels like disconnected from her. Oh, sorry. Where I think if you'd had it overlap her some more, it would feel like a little less flat, a little more connected to her. And I think there's something going on with her shoulder where I think part of it is her neck is very long. And her shoulder isn't like rising enough. Cause like, yeah, I think it's mostly the neck is very long. I think that's causing an issue, but her shoulder feels like it's not coming close enough to her neck either. And her shoulders and torso feel very narrow in comparison to her face. Hi, Lawrence. Hi, Callie. Hello. So yeah. So I think there's some proportioning issues going on. I think there's also like I don't know why this is bothering me. It might just be a me thing. But she's like cut down the middle. Just to show like the two differences, but it doesn't extend past her. I don't know. I think just looking at it, it would be interesting to see like the whole image kind of bisected in half. Like I like how it's not just like straight down the middle. I like how it follows like the contours, like her nose and stuff. But it would be interesting to see like two different backgrounds just to show like a bit of difference in like the character before versus now. Yeah, I think yeah, I also like the difference between like she has like bags under her eyes and her skin looks like her face at least looks a little bit more like ashy, and then she's got like a lot of color and blush and stuff on in the second version. Yeah, lots of nice little details, really great work with texture and color. I think there's just some anatomy issues going on with the neck and the shoulders. So yeah, I think that's all I have for that. So yeah. Battlebox, my friend, if you have any questions, let me know. So finally we have Sean. Alright, let me find your comments. So first is Asato. Just looking for general feedback on the look and vibe. Want to see if this character... Okay, if the look reflects his personality. Okay. So, I love the little horns. I'm living for these little horns. Yeah, so I'm getting, just from the expressions, I'm getting, like, he seems like a very serious character, very, like, reserved. He seems like soft-spoken, maybe. Yeah, very, feels like a quiet kind of warrior type. Yeah, I really like the colors. I think there's a little bit of clash between the kind of purpley red of the hair versus the red on the cloth pieces and on the shirt and like the hair tie. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure what's throwing it off. You might want to add like a little bit more pink into the red. It just feels a little bit too yellow. I feel like I'm being really harsh on purples and reds this session. But yeah, you've got good contrast between like all the different elements. Like that's not an issue. Yeah, I think I'm not even sure if it's like preference or if it's actually clashing, but because they're both very like kind of like cherry, pinky, red, and purple. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the lack of like saturation in the skin that like is making it feel off. I'm not exactly sure there. Yeah. I think just the red is throwing it off. There's something there that's just like a little bit too yellowy. I think it needs to be pulled in like a cooler direction. Just like a little bit. But yeah, I love this expression here. There's something so like serious and cool about it. Yeah, love that first expression and this last one. I find this middle face, his cheekbone feels like it's jutting out a little bit too much, especially in comparison to like this first image. Where like the other, like the rest of his turnaround, like from facing from the front and from the side, like he doesn't seem like he has this like jutting cheekbone. So I just be careful on that quarter turn. Oh, thank you. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming to say hello. Yeah, so Sean, let me know if you have any questions on that. Happy to answer them. Sorry that we couldn't look at your stuff on the last stream. We're trying to keep the long form, so like scripts and stories and stuff to one day, and then individual illustrations to another day, just so that like it's just easier for us to organize. I find it's just too much to juggle if people are like, people say like I can only be here this day, and some people can only, anyways. I'll stop going on about that. Let me know if you have questions. Okay, for the next one. This is Shaka. She's the little sister of Io, the lady with shine sword. Right, I think I remember that one from a previous critique. Any of your thoughts on this in general? Feedback will have. Okay. So, I really love her shapes. She's got like a very, she's made of like kind of triangular shapes, but also very boxy. I love these little shadow details like under her ribs, and like there's something about the shape of like her leg here that's just like so good. I'm not exactly sure what it is. There's just lots of great contrast going on in the shapes. It's very lively, and like you've got you're showing a lot of volume with like a very small amount of like shadow and line work, and it's just really great. Love to see it. Right, so she's got like a dress, and then she's got like some shoulder pieces and like a cloak, and then a sword and shield. The shoes, yes, the shoes are gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, I also love the swirl patterns on her dress. They're very cool. I think it would be interesting to see her hair, because you've got this kind of like, it looks like fur, like a fur cloak to me. Either that or it's very tattered, but I'd like to see the hair, similar to how you have it in this full body version. I'd love to see her hair texture kind of match this texture, just to bring some of that like organicness. Like with her hair in this more kind of like smooth style, she seems more more like serious and reserved, where here she feels like a bit more like a wild kind of warrior type. And I like it here a lot in this like colored version where she's like in an action pose. Yeah, it just feels very it just fits kind of like the energy that you get from like the design on her dress. I also love the black eyes with the lighter iris. I always think that's so cool. But I'd love to see kind of more of that texture brought in elsewhere. I'd also be careful of her bust area. I'm mostly seeing it on this colored version where I'm just not sure the dress would like hug to her form in that way. Yeah, I'd just be careful about modeling that her bust area so it kind of feels more like this, where it's not hugging to her bust quite as tightly. In that kind of anime style, where it would be kind of more smoothed over, if that makes sense. I'd also be interested to see more design brought into the sword. It looks like you've got some like some interesting shape going on, like with the end of the hilt, whatever it's called. I can't remember the anatomy of a sword. But yeah, this bottom piece here, you've got some design work, but I'd love to see more than just like the rectangle for the guard. I'd love to see kind of like maybe these triangles brought in, or maybe some of this like swirliness that she's got going on, just to make it feel like a little bit more cohesive there. Because I love the shape of her shield. I feel like it brings that the same energy as like her cloak and like the shapes that she's kind of made from. But yeah, love the expressions, love the concept. Your line work is so great. Yeah. As for what kind of character she seems like, she seems very kind of like tough warrior lady who will kick your butt. She's got this kind of like, I don't know, she's on one hand she feels kind of wild, but she also feels very like femme fatale, kind of classy, especially with like the cut of the dress, especially like from the waist down with the boots and the like slash up the one side. What am I thinking here? But yeah, she's cool. Imagine her versus the Pirate Queen. Yes. Would love that fight. Yeah, it's interesting. It feels like wildness mixed with like elegance. It's an interesting contrast. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on that, Sean. So finally, so Sir Kalen or Colin? Just looking for feedback on mood, personality, lighting, and the story of the piece. Okay. Hello. Welcome. Okay. I love the red. That is like a gorgeous red. I love it on the sword. I love how it's in the background. I love the way you've shaded the face. Oh, you're right. I was so confused. Won't said Red Redemption because I've been so harsh on reds this stream. But yeah, but I love the use of the bright red. There's something about the way you shaded the face. It's like really subtle, but you've really captured like the planes of the face. It's just so nice. Yeah, I really love it. I like his old timey old English, not old English, but you know, that old timey kind of medieval speak that he's got going on. Yeah, I love the use of light, like reflecting off things. I would love to see the same kind of polish that's on his face come to like other parts of the image. Like his hair is very kind of like wild and sketchy, same with like a lot of his body. Like back here on the guard of the sword feels like a little bit more structured. Same with the shield. Like obviously this feels like a concept sketch, so it obviously doesn't all have to be like super polished, but I feel like there's just so much loveliness on this face. I just want to see that same detail everywhere else. I also think if you were to take his design and build it out further, I might bring in like one more splash of red somewhere so you can get kind of like a triangle thing going just to balance it out, because you have it in the background here where you've got some really bright reds to kind of like bring it all together. But in his design, I'd recommend adding like another element of red just to help balance it out. As for personality, he seems like a villain. I feel like I can just imagine him like chasing down like a protagonist, all scary and spooky, and like cornering them and fighting. He's just got like a hunter look. I think it's like the orange eyes and just the expression and stuff. He feels very villainous and intimidating. And from the dialogue as well. As for the story, it seems like medieval fantasy stuff. I could see him being a prince, maybe, or a lord of some sort, who's coming to chop his father's head off and steal the throne and all his money. Yeah, very threatening. I love this little bit of shadow right here on the face, like where it's tucked up against like the collar of the shirt. It's just so mwah, 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 so good. Awesome. Well, oh yeah, and just cool lighting, cool everything. Your stuff is always so cool. So yeah, Sean, let me know if you have any questions about any of these. I'm happy to elaborate on anything. That's it. That's it, everybody. We're done. We did it. We made it. I just want to say thank you to everyone who submitted their artwork. It can be super scary to have your stuff critiqued. So yeah, thanks for participating. I really appreciate it. And if you've been watching and enjoying, please consider subscribing and clicking the like button so people will get our streams in future. And yeah, thanks so much, everybody. If you want your stuff critiqued next month, please sign up to our Patreon. There should be a link down below. You can sign up. It's just $8, and you can get your stuff critiqued, whether it's comic scripts, comic pages, character designs, concepts, novel writing, short story writing, so much stuff. We'll look at it, give you feedback every month. So thanks so much. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.